Hello and welcome to Threefold Herbal Healing. I'm Herbalist Leosade. I help people who are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired grow their health from the roots up. This is the third video in a series of 4 videos about the connection between the human body and the cosmos, specifically the endocrine system and the cosmic cycles. The first video was setting foundation with really basic terms about the endocrine system. The second video was about the cycle of sunrise and sunset and the way they affect sleep, alertness, and stress. And today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about how the circadian clocks effect on the body extend far beyond sleep and awakeness into peripheral clocks that manage your metabolism. So what is metabolism? What are we talking when we are talking about metabolism? When we talk about metabolism, we refer to all the biochemical processes that fuel the body and allow cells to have the energy to function. Some of the leading metabolic processes are nutrient digestion and absorption, energy productions in cells, molecule synthesis and tissue building, elimination of waste products, or what we like to call detox, and regulation of the body's temperature. It all really starts in the hypothalamus, the part of the brain that acts as a control panel of the endocrine system that sends hormone messengers. Hormone messengers are like snail mail, like postcard that deliver information. The hypothalamus sends those snail mails to the pituitary gland, and the pituitary gland then start a cascade of hormonal messenger, those postcards, these snail mails, that goes all over the body to target hormones. The result in the end is that everybody every cell in the body is floating in this hormonal soup. So if you ever had a diet, or if you did a diet in the past, you probably know that they're tell you what to eat or what to avoid eating. So if you had a diet for weight loss, a diet for reducing glucose in the blood or increasing insulin sensitivity, or if you're an athlete that try to increase his energy, all diet tells you what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat. But did you know that the time you eat, when you eat, has a huge impact on how the body utilize that food? So let's see how that can happen. There are 4 types of metabolic hormones, and they are affected by the circadian cycle. The growth hormone, the thyroid hormone, ghrelin, the hunger hormone, and insulin are all affected by the circadian cycle. So let's talk a little bit about growth hormones, what they do in the body and how they are affected. So growth hormones are vital for tissue and muscle growth and repair. They set metabolic rate and energy levels. They are especially important in developing children, since developing children still develop their tissues and muscles. Growth hormones are secreted during non-REM deep sleep. So you have to be in a dark room in a deep sleep. This is the part of the circadian cycle where cortisol levels are really low and melatonin levels are high. Now, when my brother was a teenager, he used to come back to school, from school, and eat a heavy lunch and then go to bed. And many times he would wake up the next morning. So he would sleep for like 12 hours. Sleeping in was not a problem for him. My mother used to joke that if you stand still and quiet by the door of his room, you can hear him growing. Now I know that there is a grain of truth to that joke. Deep sleep is crucial for many reasons, one of which is that it repairs the daily wear and tear of your body. When you're active, there are small wear and tears of your body all the time, and you don't feel it. But every night when you are in deep sleep, if you get your deep sleep, this healing happens in your body, and that healing is supported by the circadian cycle. Let's talk thyroid hormones. Thyroid hormones are the hormones that regulate metabolism in the body. So they regulate metabolic rate, how much energy you burn all the time. The master pacemaker is the hypothalamus again, and it releases an hormone which is called TRH. Not important to remember the name of the hormone, but TRH stimulates the pituitary gland to produce TSH. TSH is thyroid stimulating hormone. Thyroid stimulating hormone go from the pituitary gland to the thyroid and tell the thyroid, get to work, make some thyroid hormones. The thyroid make the hormones and spill them out to all the cells in the body. Those hormones regulate energy production in all the cells in the body. Now, if you have excess in TSH or excess in thyroid hormones production, you will have something that is called hyperthyroidism. It's heightened metabolism, too much metabolism. You will lose weight. You will be sensitive to heat, so you will feel hot and sweaty all the time, and you feel restless and irritable all the time. If you don't produce enough thyroid hormones, you are deficient in thyroid hormones, that will be called hypothyroidism, and that means too low metabolic rate. So that will feel like fatigue. You will be cold sensitive, you will feel cold all the time, and you will gain weight. You want to find the silver lining. A healthy body have not too much thyroid hormone and not too little. Now, research suggests that this circulating TSH exhibit a clear daily rhyme. So plasma concentration of TSH slowly increase during the evening before sleep and reach maximum level between 2 and 4 a.m. So when you're in deep sleep. And after it reached this maximal level, it starts to decline slowly until it reached its lowest level between 2 and 4 in the afternoon. What does it mean? It means that you need to be again in this deep sleep during night. That means that a good night's sleep is so important for you. The circadian cycle and the thyroid can act like a vicious cycle. What does it mean? It means that if your sleep is disrupted because of stress, because you work night shifts, or because you're just a night owl who likes to party all night, your thyroid hormone production might be dysregulated, leading to either excess thyroid hormone or deficiency in thyroid hormone, which eventually leads to all the problems that I talked about before. On the other hand, dysregulated thyroid hormone can also mess up with your sleep, because people with hypothyroidism might feel cold all night or might struggle with joint and muscle pain. People with hyperthyroidism might be very restless and very hot and sweaty all the time, so they can't fall asleep. In both cases, sleep is disrupted, as is the circadian cycle. So what happens is that disrupted sleep can cause thyroid dysregulation, but also thyroid dysregulation can cause disrupted sleep. And each one of them can make the other worsen. Circadian cycle, glucose, and insulin. That one is very important too, because I know that a lot of people are struggling with glucose dysregulation and insulin sensitivity. So let's first understand the role of glucose and insulin in the body. Glucose is basically the fuel that fuels metabolism. It is like the logs that you put inside your heating stove. Cells get glucose from the blood for energy production so they can function. Blood glucose increases either after a good meal or following a cortisol surge, because cortisol, what it does when it's increased, it tells the muscles and the liver to release glucose into the blood. And the idea is that cortisol, among other things, is the stress hormone. And if you needed to fight or to run away, you need more energy. So cortisol initiate the release of glucose into the blood. Now, once you have more glucose in the blood, it needs help entering the cells, because glucose in the blood doesn't create energy. It's in the cells that it creates the energy, but glucose needs help going into the cells. Most cells in the body need a key to open their doors to glucose. Muscles are the only exception to that rule. And the key to help glucose go into cell is insulin. That's what insulin is all about. Now, in the morning, the blue morning light, when the sun is rising and the skies are blue, that will cause a surge of cortisol in your body that will wake you up. And that cortisol immediately initiate glucose release from liver to the blood in anticipation of also all the energy that you will need in order to wake up, get up, move your body, wake up the kids, make the sandwiches, pack everything up, drop them in school, do your job. You need a lot of energy for that. So in anticipation, glucose is released into the blood. Once glucose is in the blood, the pancreas wake up and say, oh, they have glucose there. We need to clean the blood from that glucose. We need to shove it into the cells. I once heard somebody describe insulin as the cleaning lady who come to put everything in place. The pancreas react by secreting insulin, and insulin secretion basically follows circadian rhyme. It's high in the morning and then slowly decline toward the evening when cortisol and glucose are reduced too. So both cortisol, glucose, and insulin are high in the morning after the sunrise when you wake up, and then slowly reduce through the evening. Here is the problem. When we have a heavy meal in the evening, or we have a lot of stress, or we have a sleepless night and we toss and turn in bed, cortisol spikes up. And when cortisol spike, glucose follow. So you will have, if you have a heavy meal, if you have the main meal of the day in the evening, you will have a spike of glucose in your blood, but you are not going to have sufficient insulin to clean the blood out of that glucose, and you will end up with too much glucose in the blood at night when you don't use that glucose to produce energy, when you don't need energy because you are in bed. And that can be inflammatory. So you might want to consider moving your main meal to earlier in the day. And in many countries, people eat the main meal of the day at noon and enjoy a light meal in the evening to align their digestion and absorption with the circadian cycle and the cycle of glucose metabolism and insulin secretion. Okay, circadian cycle, hunger and satiation. Ghrelin is the hormone that causes hunger. So it's the hormone that is secreted when you feel your stomach growls. Ghrelin growls. And it follows the circadian rhythm. It is highest in the morning before breakfast and decreases following meals. but rises again between meals. Ghrelin production will follow your habits. So if you eat at the same time every day, your body will anticipate the meal and secrete ghrelin right beforehand. For metabolic health, it is recommended that you eat breakfast like a queen, lunch like a princess, and supper like a pauper. And that is exactly because what we talked before about cortisol being highest in the morning, and with it glucose and insulin, and then declining throughout the day. So your most important energy needs are in the morning. In the evening, you need less energy. So you better get all your energy in the morning when you actually need it, and not have all this energy before you're going to bed, because it's going to disturb your sleep. If you have high cortisol, you're going to disturb your sleep, and you will have all this energy floating in your blood and not burning. And that's how you gain weight. When cortisol level peak in the morning, you're up and ready to be active. So you need the fuel food can provide you. In the morning, insulin sensitivity is also higher, so you will have less glucose in the blood. You're setting the tone for glucose metabolism throughout the day when you eat a big meal for breakfast. In the evening, ghrelin is at its lowest level because the body's energy needs are low. Therefore, you will benefit from a light supper. Now, metabolic conditions are the most common chronic condition people in the Western world struggle with. So we are talking about insulin sensitivities, diabetes, metabolic rate, heart conditions. All of those things are metabolic conditions. I was looking for syndrome X. And those metabolic conditions are becoming or are already the number one cause of death in the Western world. So you really want to support your body so you don't get there. For longevity and for quality of life, you want to support your body. And one of the ways to support your body is aligning it with the circadian cycle. Creating a care plan for metabolic conditions is very complicated because the endocrine system is one of the most complicated system in the body. Everything is connected to everything. So cortisol, stress, and melatonin, sleep are connected, but they are also connected to sugar metabolism, insulin resistant, metabolic rate. Everything is just one thing, and it's complicated to create a program that addresses all of it at the same time, but that's the only program that is going to work. And the one thing that can help you to begin with is creating a daily routine that includes mealtime and sleep time that support the circadian cycle. That is for me for today. I hope you benefited from it. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I would love to answer them. If you have something to tell me, a comment, don't hesitate. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Have a good day. Bye.